Hey everyone, thank you for watching the Talking About Football podcast. This podcast is sponsored by the NFLwire.net. If you want to keep track with any NFL news during the week, they upload multiple articles a day about the latest news around the NFL. We are also adding a podcast every Wednesday now too. We will be talking about fantasy football, some news that happened earlier in the week, and our Thursday night predictions. Hope all you guys can watch and enjoy the Wednesday podcast. I'm your host, JT, and alongside with me is Chris. And let's get started with the results of last week's predictions. Chris?
Real quick, I am so excited for this podcast on Wednesday. It's crazy.
It's going to be great.
But then we're going to go right into our last week's predictions, and I am 2-0 now.
He's 2-0 and I'm 0-2, and that's not good. I thought I had this week won, but obviously not.
I went 9-14, while he went 6-14.
Man, I got to step it up. I'm not doing good.
No, you are not. But then we're going to go from here, and we're going to get into this week's picks.
In our first game, we have the Jets at the Eagles. I have the Eagles beating the Jets 24-10, and the Eagles are coming off a big win last week against the Packers. They played great, in my opinion. This week, they have another game that they need to take advantage of. The Eagles' offense needs to get off and running quickly, getting the ball to Aguilar in the air and Zach Ertz, and also establish a good run game. I'm looking for a big game out of their defense, too. On the other side of the 50, we have the Jets. You know, they need Nick Folk to come up big, and they, like usual, they need Le'Veon Bell to have a huge game. They need him to have a big game every game, but you know, I don't think the Jets defense can hold down the Eagles, Chris.
And I have actually the same score as you. I have 24-10 going to the Eagles. I do.
24-10.
That Eagles offense, disgusting looking with Folk at quarterback. Yeah. Le'Veon Bell is not the same. Sam Darnold is still sharing a water bottle with people. He still has the kissing disease mono. It's crazy.
He's got the kissing disease.
That Jets defense is not living up to the hype it was supposed to be.
No, they're not.
And that in the Eagles missing Deshaun Jackson this week, I think they're going to be fine, you know, with the whole thing. I don't think Deshaun Jackson's going to really even be needed against this
I don't think so
Jets
either.
secondary. So I have the Jets losing by 14, and it definitely could be even worse.
It could be worse. You know, now the only thing the Jets got going for them, in my opinion, is their uniforms. I mean, I think they have one of the coolest uniforms in the league, but that's about it. I mean,
100% do agree with you there. I just was really excited to see this Jets defense go out and work this year with, you know, CJ
Me
Mosley
too,
being
but
signed.
they've been a disappointment.
A massive disappointment. Actually.
So next game we have the Vikings at the Giants. I had the Vikings winning 30-24, Chris. I like this matchup though, but I think the Vikings are just a better football team. Look for Cousins to hook up with Stephon Diggs. He's going to have a big game, and Adam Thielen, especially if they're going up against somebody like Janoris Jenkins. You know, I do not like Janoris Jenkins, especially on Stephon Diggs, and I don't think it'll end well for the Giants. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a big game, and I think the Vikings take this one 30-24.
And it's funny how you bring up Stephon Diggs because I actually have the Giants winning this game.
You have the Giants winning this game. No way.
21-17.
No way.
The Giants secondary stepped up. They had 4 takeaways last week. 2 by Jack Rabbit, 1 by Ryan Conley, who is out for the rest of the season, but also 1 by Jabril Peppers, which is a pick 6.
Right, but they're going to put up Stephon Diggs against Janoris Jenkins. Chris, really, who do you think wins that matchup?
Well, in my personal opinion here is I don't think no one's going to win that matchup because they don't throw the ball. I think Dalvin Cook is going to be the game changer, and if he runs all over the Giants defense, then they'll win. But I'm thinking with the distraction with Stephon Diggs' trade rumors, with the whole...
I disagree with you.
And I think Adam Thielen coming out and, you know, throwing shade towards Kirk Cousins.
I totally disagree with you right now.
I think the Vikings are going to come out and they're going to choke. Stephon Diggs is not going to play his hardest with the whole trade rumors. He doesn't want to shoot the team what he really can do. He just wants to get out of there.
Listen, I get that, but the Vikings
and Golden Tate's coming back for the Giants, and you know you're not going to play 2 on Shepard anymore. You're going to have to play respect defense now.
Right, but, you know, listen, Stephon Diggs is a stud, and don't forget about Adam Thielen. So I disagree with your pick there. We're gonna see what happens tomorrow. I got the Vikings winning 30-24.
I'm not dissing Adam Thielen at all, but I do think with the Giants coming up and really showing some improvements on offense and last week on defense, I understand against Dwayne Haskins and the Redskins and not a big opponent, but you finally have some confidence going into another week.
I understand that, but the Vikings win this game, Chris. We'll see tomorrow.
All right.
Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Carolina Panthers. I have the Panthers winning this game 20-16. I mean, I like how Carolina has been responding without Cam Newton. They're coming off a win last week against Houston. Kyle Allen has been getting the job done. Not playing great, but getting the job done, using Christian McCaffrey and Greg Olsen a lot and his receivers down the field. You know, I think the defense have saved them with Luke Kuechly. And Gardner Minshew needs to come out and score first if the Jags want a chance to win. Look for him trying to hit DJ Chark. I like DJ Chark.
He's been an animal lately.
He's been great. You know, he's one of his prime targets. But I do like the Panthers in this one.
I have the legend himself, Gardner Minshew, beating the Panthers 23-17.
Come on.
Fun fact, did you hear about this new Gardner Minshew fan pack?
No, I didn't.
You get two free.
I did hear about that.
You get 2 home tickets. You get a mustache. And a bandana. And you also get a picture on the field looking like Gardner Minshew.
So is that how desperate Jags fans are?
Nah, bro. Forget Nick Foles. Nick Foles is not even a question anymore. You put so much into Gardner Minshew now that he has his own little fan pack.
So kind of like the Fitzmagic last year of the Bucks.
Yeah, and they got thrown to the side after like week 4.
Yeah,
but I think it really comes down to this game.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting game.
Oh, I don't think it's Gardner Minshew is the game changer here. I think it's the running game.
No,
Leonard Fournette came out and ran for 200 yards last week. Unheard of.
That's true, but I just every week I'm a McCaffrey fan. That guy's a beast.
I 100% agree with McCaffrey being the 8th pick in the 2017 draft.
And Greg Olsen, too.
And the receivers been looking good. But
they've been looking good. So the Panthers do win this game. And their Panthers are at home this week, Chris.
I think it's Leonard Fournette and that defense is going to come up and step up.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you, but we'll see.
This next game we have Falcons at Texans, and I actually have the Texans beating the Falcons 30-20. The Falcons defense is looking atrocious. Their defense
they're looking awful.
The trash defense, man. And then you also have the Falcons on offense have not been clicking at all. Devontae Freeman can't get starting running the ball. They're injured on the offensive line. But you have the weapons. You have Muhammad Sanu, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. You have all the weapons in the world, but Matt Ryan is also throwing, I think, 7 interceptions.
Matt Ryan just came out ice cold.
And then the Texans, I think D-Hop and Deshaun Watson are finally going to get back on pace what they're used to doing. And I feel like they're not going to stop Deshaun Watson running out of the pocket. So I feel like that's going to be the difference changer in the game.
Good point there. I have Deshaun Watson in my explanation here running out of the pocket. You know, he can scramble, and he's very fast. I like the Texans in this one, 17-14. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. They're coming off a loss last week. Remember that.
Yeah.
They're very hungry for a win.
Falcons are 1-3, man.
The Falcons are 1-3. They need to win this game, but I think the Texans do win this game. It's a huge game at home for the Texans this week. Huge game. They need to win. Watson and D-Hop need to have a breakout game. I think they will. Watson, he's going to scramble. We know that. He's going to use his legs. Matt Ryan hooking up with Julio. We'll see how that combo works. It's been cold lately. I don't think it'll be enough to beat Houston, Chris.
I agree. And all you fantasy people out there, Austin Hooper is the number 2 tight end in all of fantasy football.
Yes, he is.
So
that's a great point.
Austin Hooper is a person to watch out for.
Yes, sir.
But then think about it. You have Julio, Austin Hooper, Calvin Ridley.
They have the weapons.
You have so many weapons.
They have the weapons, and they're just not
can't score.
Yeah, they're just not taking advantage of it. You have to score points to win games. Field goals aren't going to do it. You got to get in the end zone.
Even if that, Matt Ryan can't throw 7 picks in 4
He
games,
can't.
and you want to be successful.
You can't.
So,
especially in that division area.
Yes.
Okay.
And the next game we're going to get to is another division for the Falcons.
Big division rival, the Bucs and the Saints.
And I have the Saints beating the Bucs 24-21, but it's going to be a very close game.
I think it's going to be a close game. I have the Bucs beating the Saints 21-19. Very close. I like Tampa because of last week. I like the confidence they have. They put up 55 points against the Super Bowl contending team last week, Chris. Who would have ever think that? Winston played great. Godwin, Brate, and Evans were huge last week. Brate in the red zone, especially. Bucs defense got some key stops last week. They did give up 40, but the defense got that big fumble at the end.
Big old
Ndamukong Suh
ran that bad boy in.
I think the defense is going to come up big. I love Shaq Barrett, too. Shaq Barrett's done great.
Who doesn't love
the guy's a beast. The guy's a beast. So I do think the Bucs slip by 21-19, but Teddy Bridgewater and Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas are going to give that defense some trouble. It's going to be interesting to see. I like this game a lot tomorrow. 1 o'clock.
The 1 o'clock game, the one thing I said in my notes is that Saints defense is looking legit.
They are. They're looking great. They're looking great. Besides Eli Apple.
He's terrible.
And Marshawn Lattimore is playing better.
He's playing way better.
Marshawn Lattimore is playing better.
But it's coming from the defense, and it's going to – I wrote this in my notes, word for word, if Jameis will keep it close, but the defense will give up that one mistake. Their secondary will give that
long ball.
one.
I feel like it'll be a long ball.
I think it's going to be a streak from Ted Ginn.
Right.
And that safety is not going to be able to pick it up over the top.
Because remember, the Bucs are still young in the secondary. We got Jordan Whitehead, Bunting.
Yep.
So you got young guys back there. We have to.
Even Vernon Hargreaves is still young. He's
young.
24.
So there's a lot of young, talented, but young. We're going to see what happens tomorrow. That should be a good game.
So in the next game we're going to go right to is the Bills at Titans. And I actually have the Titans beating the Bills 21-17.
Not me.
And I'm going to tell you why. Two players that
tell me why, because I have a hard time believing that.
It's 2 players on the offense. Josh Allen is questionable. He may not even play. He's still doing the concussion protocol.
He's questionable, but if he plays, the Bills will win.
You have Charles freaking Barkley. Matt Barkley back there. What do you mean? You think Matt Barkley's a baller? You think he's gonna come out
against the Tennessee Titans?
Not that secondary. The Tennessee Titans secondary is pretty good.
They are. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Kevin Byard.
Yes.
Malcolm Butler, Logan Ryan.
Remember Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler has been in some big situations, and he's he has experience.
Yes, he does.
I like that, and that's a great point. But I still like the Bills in this, Chris. Josh Rosen needs to play.
Who?
If they want to win.
Josh Rosen? You mean Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Sorry, Josh Allen needs to play if they want to win.
Bro, it's gonna be, but you're also missing the running back. Devin Singletary is also questionable.
He is.
Frank Gore is 120 years old. He can't play every snap. Okay.
Frank Gore is a grandpa, but
okay, yeah.
I think the Bills march down at the end, and Steven Hauschka uses the big leg and kicks a winning field goal, 17-14. Bills beat the Titans.
Titans win 21-17. It's going to be a Derrick Henry frenzy out there.
We're disagreeing a lot this week, Chris.
And who's 2-0 and
who's 0-2? But I feel my first win this week.
You feel it for once?
I feel it.
In this game, we're going to go to the Cardinals at Bengals. I see a playoff prediction happening in this game right now.
Just stop. Stop. Gosh.
I have Cardinals beating the Bengals.
Did you see the Bengals play the Steelers?
I watched their first quarter, then clicked off.
I clicked off but right at halftime.
Bro, it was terrible. But I have Cardinals beating the Bengals 30-14. I think Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray will finally get their first win together. Even though Christian Kirk has ruled out this week, it's going to be a David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald game.
Yep, Larry Fitzgerald.
Bengals
Love
need
Larry Fitzgerald, by the way.
home dog out there.
Home dog out there.
And it's gonna be Bengals need to get pressure. I don't know if they go pressure. Joe Mixon is looking like a big can of booty hole out here this year. He's looking like a big old trash bag. I can't deal with him anymore.
Yeah.
If he starts running the ball good, then it may open up the passing game for Mr. Andy Dalton throwing the ball too. So the whole team's looking like a bunch of stars out here.
Listen.
And John Ross is on the IR, so you're missing John Ross. You're missing AJ Green. Your Joe Mixon is playing like a big can of booty hole.
It's not what you really want to see.
So Bengals will go 0-5 Sunday.
I have the Cardinals winning 14-10 in a low-scoring game. Listen. Both of these teams aren't that good. I'm just putting it out there. Last week against the Steelers, the Bengals scored 3 points in 4 quarters.
And I believe that field goal came in the first quarter.
It did.
When it was a fumble punched out.
It was. So
and they were on the
should have been a shutout.
It should exactly.
Should have been a shutout. This is a perfect game though for Kyler Murray to go off. This is a game where he needs to gain confidence. He needs to get that confidence boost, especially against that Bengals secondary.
No, there are a bunch of ballers out there.
Jeez.
Jesse Bates is an all-pro safety.
Jesse Bates.
He's an all-pro safety.
Andy Dalton's going to have to figure out a better passing plan. I like the Cardinals in this one. I don't have much to say. I just think the Cardinals are going to win.
In this next game, I think we have the Patriots at Redskins, if I'm correct. And, I think the Redskins are coming out top on this game. I'm kidding.
Okay.
It's Patriots.
I was about to walk out.
me too. Patriots 35, Redskins 10. When Colt McCoy is your starting quarterback, you're going to have some trouble throwing the ball.
Well, but look who they're playing.
It's the best defense in the league.
And the best offensive line in the league, in my opinion. I like their offensive line.
Second behind Cowboys.
Okay, let's say second, top 2.
Yep.
You can debate that. And I got the Patriots winning 28-13. The Pats will still.
That's even a big closer game than I thought it would be.
I understand, but I think the Pats will still be undefeated at the end of Week 5. They're so stacked on defense, like you just said. You made a good point. One of the best offensive lines in the league, and they're protecting the best quarterback. He's got Edelman, guys like that downfield, got Sonny Michel. He's just got a bunch of weapons. The Patriots win this game 28-13.
And, fantasy stat, you have Sonny Michel, start him.
Start him.
If you have Rex Burkhead, start him. If you have James White,
start him.
I think sit him out. Just because he's the passing running back in that backfield.
That is true.
I feel like you're gonna.
I think they're gonna use the run game a lot.
It's the Redskins.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady will have a rushing touchdown. This defense is terrible.
You never know.
So, we're just gonna skip this game. We're gonna go right on to the next one. Ravens at Steelers. I have Ravens beating the Steelers 31-17. Even though the Steelers gained some confidence with the win over the Bengals. Again, it's still nothing. So he's playing like a JV high school team out there at this point. So, but I think the Ravens have a lot of anger. They lost the division game against the Browns.
The Ravens are mad.
And, against Baker Mayfield, now the Browns are number 1 in that division. Ravens are 2. I think they're mad. They're going to come out fighting. And I have a bet put on this game, actually. I wrote down in my notes.
Go ahead.
Lamar Jackson will have over 100 rushing yards this week.
I believe it.
In week 2, he had over 100 rushing yards.
I can believe it.
In week 5, he'll have 100 rushing yards.
And you know what I was thinking, Chris? Who's very similar? 2 quarterbacks that are very similar is Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson.
Deshaun Watson got a way better arm, but very similar in the way they play.
I'm talking the scrambling standpoint.
I 100% agree.
Both got the legs. I have the Ravens winning 27-16. Lamar Jackson will take advantage against the Steelers and their defense. He's going to run the ball. He loves to run the ball. And that's a weapon. If he can't see anyone downfield, he's just going to scramble. You can get a first down anytime he basically wants. He has a great arm. He can use his legs, Lamar Jackson. And Mason Rudolph, he needs to continue getting the ball. I mean, down the field to Juju the best he can, but they really don't have much there, the Steelers. And the Ravens are going to get a big win this week. So the next game, we got the Bears at the Raiders. I have the Bears beating the Raiders 16-14. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Raiders did win last week, putting up over 30. Dang, that's pretty good. But
For the Raiders, yes.
for the Raiders, that's really good. I think Derek Carr is going to hit a roadblock, though, against Akeem Hicks in that Bears defense. Remember, we say week to week, we like the Bears defense.
Every week.
Every single week, we like the Bears defense. They're strong. They blitz a lot. And I think the defense wins this game for Chicago because I don't think Chase Daniels playing for Trubisky, I don't think he'll play that good. No. he
Bro,
won't.
Chase Daniels? Are you kidding me? He's a baller.
Chase Daniels. We'll see, man. You never know.
So from a lot of the London games I've watched over the past couple of years is they are very slow and they're very low scoring.
They are. That's why I have a low-scoring game. I knew this game was in London. I had the Bears winning 16-14.
And so thinking of that, I have the two rookie running backs, David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs, are going to fantasy stat for you as well.
Fantasy stat. This is a big fantasy stat. Listen up.
If you have David Montgomery, start him.
Start.
You have Josh Jacobs, start him.
Start.
It's going to be the game of the two rookie running
both of
backs.
those guys.
And
they're going to have good games.
They're going to have great games.
In London, you pound the rock. In London, you pound the rock.
I don't know what it is with
I don't-
London,
I
why
don't know
everyone
what it
runs
is
the
either.
ball,
They
but
do.
but then it's also that Bears defense, like you brought up.
It's-
It's going to give freaking Derek
Right.
Carr and
you-
Josh Jacobs a hard time.
And you know, Chris, it's that weird setting, I think. I know it's that, I mean, players get there, they're a little bit jet lagged, about the time difference. Games start at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time.
I can't wait for that, actually.
I can't wait for that either. But it's just, I think it messes with the players' bodies, in my opinion.
I don't know what's going to be going on there, but it's going to be a weird game. I'm not really excited for this game at all. I'm excited.
I'm not either.
I'm excited that it's a morning game and I get to wake up to football and not have to wait
very
until
true,
1.
yeah.
But I'm also not excited for the two teams playing. I'm not excited for...
We love those games, me and you, because we get to wake up to football and just watch football all day.
excited, man, but it's also the Bears at
It's also-
Raiders.
so next game we got the Broncos at the Chargers. I have the Chargers winning 20-17 over the Broncos. Listen, the Broncos are a bad football team. I think Phillip Rivers has a good game. The Chargers need to win. This is a game they need to take advantage of. I think Rivers is going to start off slow. I think
he usually does.
He usually does. It takes him maybe 1 or 2 quarters to get going, and the Broncos are going to stick around. But by the third or fourth quarter, Chargers are going to run away with it. The Broncos might make a threat, but I still think the Chargers come on top. 20-17, Chris.
I have Chargers beating the Broncos 27-17.
Okay.
The Broncos lost their second best pass rusher,
They did.
Bradley Chubb, to a torn ACL. On top of that, you have Emmanuel Sanders trade rumors. So I think in a locker room, it's going to be hard.
It messes with their heads, man.
I think the same thing with the Vikings and Giants. I think with the trade rumors are going to mess with their heads.
Right.
Same thing with Emmanuel
It is.
Sanders is going to mess with their heads. And then the Chargers gaining a top 5 running back, Melvin Gordon, back this week, who was back last week but never used him. They came out and said he's going to have a heavy, quote-unquote, heavy workload this week.
Yep.
So then you also have the best receiver in fantasy football and regular football in Keenan Allen right now. And you don't know what Mike Williams is going to be feeling. I believe he's he's questionable, but I heard he could be on the ruled out side.
I think they're leaning more to rule him out.
And I believe so too, with everything I've read. But Melvin Gordon running the ball, Keenan Allen catching the ball. It's going to be the Chargers of last season.
Chargers. It is. Chargers.
And I'm very excited to see Melvin Gordon back on the field.
And Chris, before we move on to our next game, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why isn't Pro Bowler Von Miller playing up to the expectations? What's going on with that defense, and what's going on with him?
He had 2 sacks last week. which is and got him his 100th sack, career. So I know he's getting there and he's feeling better.
But they're still giving up a lot of points.
Bro, 4 games, 2 sacks for Von Miller is crazy.
It is.
Watching Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald, they're in the backfield every play. Like they're almost on every other play.
And why I brought that up is because I like Von Miller. I think he's a great player. He has potential. It's just something this year has hit him. I mean, on the wrong side.
And then the one thing I would also bring up is now you can't. Now you have Bradley Chubb on one side and Von Miller on the other side. How about that? It's great pass rushers. But now you have one eliminated, and now he's going to get double teamed like he did all his career.
Oh, 100%. That's a great point.
So Von Miller will not have very good stats for the rest of the season, which is very unfortunate for the Broncos.
And he's stuck in that kind of in Denver. And it's not a good situation for the Broncos. Our next game is my favorite game of the week.
I was about to say the same thing.
I love this football game. It's the Packers at the Cowboys. I have the Packers beating the Cowboys 28-27 by 1 point.
Wow.
This is my favorite game of the week. I love both of these teams. Aaron Rodgers is really fun to watch, throwing the ball to Robert Woods and making great stuff on offense happen. He's amazing. The Cowboys and Dak Prescott need to get things going with Ezekiel Elliott running and need to hit Witten and Amari Cooper with the long ball. And 2 great offenses, high-scoring game. Packers win by a point.
And, what I brought up when I talk about the Saints, that Saints defense. The Saints defense, now you have the Packers defense. Packers have a really good defense as well. I think it's going to give the Cowboys some trouble. But I do have the Cowboys winning 17-14.
I have to bring something up, though. Even last week, the Cowboys did not get across the goal line.
What was it?
4 field goals.
You're about to say 4 field goals?
12 points.
I get it. But, again, it's Dak Prescott, it's Ezekiel Elliott, and you also add Michael Gallup back in there, instead of just having Randall Cobb as your number 2. You have Randall Cobb as your 3, you have Michael Gallup as your 2, and then you have Amari Cooper as your 1.
They do. I think they'll bounce back this week, but it's not a good game to play
it's a very
after
hard
a loss.
Game.
It's a hard bounce back game. And the Packers will win this by a point. It's going to be a great game, Chris. We'll see what happens.
I'm very excited for this game. I'm very excited.
And another game I'm excited about is not as much as the other game, but the Colts at the Chiefs. I think it'll be a pretty good game, but I do have the Chiefs winning 30-20. I think this is a good QB matchup, though. I think Mahomes will get the best of the Colts. This is a Sunday night game. Mahomes needs to look for Tyreek Hill downfield and guys like that.
Tyreek Hill is ruled out.
Oh, he is ruled out. That's huge. So that might affect his passing game, but remember they have so many weapons on that offense. They'll figure out a way. I apologize. I did miss that. I was looking at the injury report yesterday. I must have missed that. The Chiefs need to come up big, stop Brissett, the defense. I think the Chiefs' defense will be enough to stop Jacoby Brissett. T.Y. Hilton gonna have a pretty good game, I think.
He needs to. If the team wants to be successful.
If they want a chance, he needs to have a good game. T.Y. Hilton, as well as Eric Ebron. But I think the Colts defense will not be able to hold off the Chiefs on Sunday night.
I have the Chiefs winning 31-24.
Okay.
It's hard to talk about this game.
It is. It really is.
With the Chiefs almost losing last week to the Lions, I question looking at the score of this game and looking at the over and under, trying to figure out what's going on. The Colts looked bad against the Raiders.
They did.
So it's like Chiefs didn't look very hot, and the Colts just looked plain out bad.
In my opinion, remember, last week was Mahomes' first game in an indoor stadium. And the thing is he didn't look. He got a win. Don't get me wrong. He look
for 300 yards, but he just didn't throw a touchdown.
So I still have the Chiefs bouncing back. Remember, this game's at home. It's going to be big, going to be loud. Remember, we always talk about Arrowhead being probably the loudest stadium in the NFL.
100%.
Sunday night, those fans are going to be rocking. Chiefs 30-20 in this game.
I just think it's going to come down to the Chiefs defense. You get Morris Claiborne back, I don't know if he's going to start over Breland or not at cornerback. But I think Jacoby Brissett makes one mistake, and that's going to be the 7-point difference.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs will capitalize on that mistake because Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball.
I got you.
Damian Williams does come back from injury this week. So Damian Williams, LaShawn McCoy, good combo.
Good point there. Chris, next game, the Monday night. Browns at the 49ers. Will San Francisco stay undefeated, Chris?
Yes. 28-24.
I think so, too. I think the 49ers win 24-21. Jimmy G's going to stay undefeated. I like what the Niners are doing, getting the ball to Kittle. I really like Kittle. Using the read option play and the play action fakes. Freddie Kitchens, he's going to need a good game plan to beat the Niners in their house on Monday. Baker and Odell need to have a huge game. I just don't think Freddie Kitchens can come up with a good enough game plan to beat the 49ers.
Bro, Freddie freaking Kitchens. I can go all day about this man and how of a terrible head coach he is. But I'm going to keep it very short. If Freddie Kitchens doesn't call any run plays, like last week they called the run plays, Nick Chubb went off. You call run plays, you open up the pass.
You do.
You score 45 points against the Ravens defense, who is a very good defense.
Yep.
If Freddie freaking Kitchens can call some run plays and change, instead of running 5 wide the entire game or running 4 wide the entire game, just instead of doing 11 personnel, just straight up two tight ends, 2 receivers, or instead of putting a receiver, just put a fullback and then just pound the ball.
He needs to keep it more simple, too. I think he's thinking about it too much, putting too much thought into these players' heads, man. Just let them go out and play football. You know what I mean?
And another thing I said, Jimmy G taking a huge leap this year from the torn ACL. We didn't know how he was going to perform and come out. The defense playing phenomenal as well.
Yes,
so
they are. They're playing good. I do like the 49ers, and the 49ers are no joke this year, Chris. No joke.
And 49ers will be 4-0 Monday night.
All right. Well, that does it for our picks this week. We're gonna see what happens tomorrow.
Chris will go 3-0.
JC will be 1-2.
Let's see.
So let's see what happens. Next, let's dive into some injuries and some news for you guys, getting you ready for this week 5 in the NFL. Let's start with the injured reserve list. The 49ers cornerback Jason Verrett, he's out.
We're gonna move fast through this list. We're just trying to help you guys. If
fantasy,
So with Patriots kicker, if you have Steven Gostkowski, pull him out. He's on the IR.
He's out. Yep. Bengals wide receiver John Ross, out.
Panthers wide receiver Chris Hogan, gone.
Broncos linebacker Bradley Chubb, he's out.
Panthers defensive tackle Quan Short, bye-bye.
Giants linebacker Ryan Conley, he gone.
Browns linebacker Christian Kirksey,
see you.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're gonna move. So that was just all the IR players.
So fantasy, fantasy people.
If you have Steven Gostkowski, cut him. Just put him on because you have 9 weeks until you can pick him up again. John Ross, same thing. Chris Hogan, same thing. But defensive wise, your Panthers defense is not looking too good anymore with Quan Short.
Right, no.
So we're gonna move right from IR to the trade rumors, and we got the first one. We got Jalen Ramsey. But with the whole Jalen Ramsey thing, they don't want to get rid of him.
They don't want to get rid of him.
But he wants to go.
In fact, I have a little bit on Jalen Ramsey. He's, number one, let's start with this. He's easily, in my opinion, the best cornerback in the NFL.
I'll second that.
And it's clear he wants to be traded from the Jags. It's also clear that the Jags don't want to get rid of him. But there's lots of time for the Jags and him to change his mind. And he needs to get stuff situated with the front office because it's messing with his head. I think it's going to affect how he plays. You don't want a situation like this, especially when you have your best player going through something like this.
And you had two teams offer you first-round picks. Two first-round picks to go on that.
Yep.
And you declined. You got a first-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year. I can't. If I'm the front office, I'm gonna accept that the person doesn't want to play for us anymore. He's ruled out for this week with a back injury. I think it's again another fake back injury. I just don't think he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
He took time off last week. He didn't play last week. He's not gonna play this week.
He's not. So
There's a reason why he's not
happy.
playing. Exactly.
He's just not happy, Chris.
There's a reason why he's not playing. So, and that reason, I feel like the Jaguars should do. Their team is solid. Get 2 first-round picks, which they can go get a corner.
2 first-round picks.
And, upgrade your offense. Upgrade your secondary again,
100% agree with you there.
So, and that standpoint, you have a person that's want to play for you, and then you have teams offering you 2 first-round picks. I think you should just trade them away, in my personal opinion.
Right. We'll see. So let's move on to Stephon Diggs. He wants out of the Vikings. Stephon Diggs and the Vikings are not looking to part ways, though. He's been missing practice, and he said Monday, actually, that I read, he was growing apart from the team. He says he's growing apart from the team. He doesn't want to be there. His teammates, he doesn't like his teammates. He's a good fit for this offense, but he doesn't want any part of Minnesota, Chris.
And I think Adam Thielen making a big breakout season 2 years ago.
I do. Yeah.
When Stephon Diggs was the number 1, and now Adam Thielen is closing in to be the number 1. And over the years, Adam Thielen is the number 1. Stephon Diggs, and I think when you have a running back like Dalvin Cook, a wide receiver like Stephon Diggs, a wide receiver like Adam Thielen, you're going to have so much to do.
Right.
But then Kirk Cousins, on the week 1, he threw 10 attempts.
And I'm going to tell you this, though. Stephon Diggs wants to be the number 1 receiver.
And there's a few teams out there that are willing to pay top dollar.
There is.
To trade for him who need a number 1.
And those are the Patriots, the Redskins, the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Seahawks.
Are all willing to make him the number 1.
They are. This reminds me, Chris, real quick before we move on. Remember last year how Deshaun Jackson wanted to be the number 1 receiver on the Bucs, but it was Mike Evans. Didn't like it. Didn't get the ball enough. He didn't get the ball enough. The Bucs didn't use him like they should have. That's what I feel what's going on here. I feel like Stephon Diggs really wants to be that number 1 receiver, wants to make the biggest difference on the team. But Thielen's moving up there, so he's just not happy in Minnesota.
And, you also have Kyle Rudolph. You also have Irv Smith, who you drafted in the 3rd round, I believe, as a tight end.
Right.
So, again, I understand what Stephon Diggs is. And, again, the team is not also winning a lot of games either. The team is still a middle-of-the-pack team.
They're...
I think the guy just wants to get traded, go to somewhere that they actually want him. He's going to be the number 1. And my pick will be the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I think have a good chance with the legend himself, Gardner Minshew. Or my second team will be the Seahawks, but you have Tyler Lockett, who's a slot guy. You can put Stephon Diggs on the outside.
Tyler Lockett's a big slot guy.
Big slot guy. You throw him on, and then you throw Stephon Diggs on the outside with DK Metcalf on the other side. Then you looking like you have a nice
pretty
team.
Good offense right there.
So,
and the Seahawks are going somewhere this year. I really like the Seahawks.
They're going to do some great things. Yep. So we're going to move on, and just rumors, nothing has came out saying so, but Emmanuel Sanders kind of wants out of the Broncos. He wants to win something.
I don't blame him. That's not a good football team that he's a part of.
They're going to be 0-5 after this week, and he just wants out. So came out, and you did a little research. You found out it's the last year of his contract, so the team is probably going to trade him. They're probably going to give like a 4th or a 5th for him, and he's going to go to a team. And I feel like the Giants could actually use someone who is a downfield threat. They don't have one. They have 2 slot guys in Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard. But they don't have an outside threat. And I think Emmanuel Sanders will actually fit that very well.
I do too. I like Emmanuel Sanders in the New York route. I mean, like you just said, that's a great point. Let's just go through a few signings. Let's just blow through this. The Patriots signed kicker Mike Nugent because Gostkowski's going to be out. And the Ravens signed linebacker L.J. Fort.
And, L.J. Fort was a draft pick last year, I believe, on the top of my head.
It was last year. He was a draft pick.
And so, young player. Ravens need some help on the linebacking core, so picking up LJ4, I think was a really good signing. That's why we threw it in there.
Yep.
And we have a few releases. A big one, in my personal opinion, Cardinals release safety DJ Swearinger.
Yep.
But
that's big.
He used to be a good player. He's poo-poo now.
Yeah, he's not.
So
he's
going
really nothing now.
So going from there,
he used to be a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he just kind of spiraled downhill,
like terribly.
And then the Giants wide receiver Benny Fowler, he's released.
They gave him the El Cuto.
Yep, gave him the El Cut.
And we got some players that are active off some Peds. We have Golden Tate coming back from Peds.
We got the Titans offensive tackle, Taylor Lewan. He's coming back.
From Peds. We have Chiefs cornerback, Morris Claiborne coming back. And, he's going to make a difference in, Chiefs secondary, who's been struggling. I really do like Morris Claiborne coming back.
I do too.
Veteran presence.
Yes.
I think it's going to be big.
He will provide good coverage downfield.
I 100% agree with that statement.
Suspended. We got Raiders linebacker Vontaze Burfict. 12 games, rest of the season, Chris. I mean, come on, man.
Do you think he deserved 12 games?
I don't think he deserved 12 games. I really don't. I think the NFL did a bad job giving him a 12-game suspension. I don't like it. I really don't. And it's a huge loss for the Raiders. They need that defense right there. They need that linebacker. Comes up big for them, and he's out for the rest of the season. Not good for John Gruden, not good for the Raiders.
The one thing I would say about this is Vontaze Burfict has a history of doing things like this. And, it's hard to talk about it because, he's had bad hits, some really, really bad hits.
Yes.
I know he's a dirty player in the aspect, but then isn't Patrick Willis a dirty player back in the day? Isn't Ray Lewis a dirty player back in the day? Is this what you're trying to tell me? Hitting someone aggressively is a flag now? I understand head-to-head contact, but there's some plays that he's gotten fined for where I'm like, that. Yeah, it's just him being a good football player.
Listen,
not afraid to hit someone.
Listen, I am all for the head-to-head rule, and it should be. You don't want those bad injuries, for example, Ryan Shazier and stuff like that. You don't want that to happen. But I think, yes, this hit was dirty, but I think he was trying to make a football play. I think he was, suspend him for 2 or 3 games, 4 or 5.
I'll give him the 4-game suspension.
I give him the 4-game suspension, but 12 games? I don't agree with that.
I know the NFL talked about it, and the 12 game was also going on from history, him what he did previously and knowing his history.
That, but I just don't think 12 games is necessary.
You should not suspend someone for their history. You should, if you're going to give them a suspension for a hit, give them the suspension for that hit and not the suspension from their history.
Right.
But that's my opinion.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Barkley, and he could very, very well be ready for week 6.
Wow.
I've seen videos of this man. This guy is not human.
He's a grinder.
He is already running, cutting, moving on a high ankle sprain. He was projected to come back in week 10 or week 9, week 8 area type thing, like week 8 to 10. He's coming back 2 weeks shorter, and that's if he's ready by week 6.
Listen, that just shows you his dedication to win and help that football team.
I think his dedication to he's not a freaking human.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Then we have the Bengals wide receiver AJ Green is a few weeks out, 2 to 3 weeks out. That's going to be big coming back for the Bengals. It's just going to be too late. I mean, like we said, they're not a good football team, but.
One thing I wanted to put on the notes, but I didn't, was do you think AJ Green should ask for a trade?
I do. He's a way better player than that. He needs to be on a better team. I like Seattle for him too.
Really?
I really think Seattle could use somebody like AJ Green when he comes back for injury. He's got to be healthy. We're going to see how he performs.
And what's your so we have Panthers quarterback Cam Newton out for week 5.
Out for week 5.
Kyle Allen's gonna get the start out here, man. He's been kind of balling out.
Kyle Allen. Then we got the Bears quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, a dislocated left shoulder. He's out for a few weeks. Chris, I know you love talking about Mitchell Trubisky.
Bro, Mitchell Trubisky is a terrible quarterback. He is awful. Chase Daniels is their backup, who should be their starter. Trubisky needs to go to another 2 years of college and learn how to play some freaking quarterback because he's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, that's my personal opinion. But then a person that's catching the ball from Mitchell Trubisky / Chase Daniels is Taylor Gabriel, and he did not travel with the team to London because if he got concussed. He's got concussion. So let's see how he does
He's
for
not
week
thinking
6.
right.
But week 5 right now, he is out.
Yep. Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey back. Injury. He's out against the Panthers.
You mean the injury of I don't want to play for you anymore, and I'm just going to sit out. I'm going to make up a fake injury.
Yeah.
And
Oh
just
yeah.
hold my
100%.
back.
Yeah. His back hurts, Chris.
Yeah.
His back hurts. It's
Oh.
killing him.
Oh.
I know his back's killing him. Yeah. Whatever.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So Rams wide receiver Brandon Cooks concussion happened against the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. On Thursday, of course. And let's see how it goes. I know a concussion can last a couple weeks, so we don't know how severe his concussion is. And Brandon Cooks being a smaller wide receiver, he's always getting concussions.
Yep.
So he's not ruled out for week 6 yet.
But it's looking like it.
He very well could be ruled out for week 6.
Rams linebacker Clay Matthews suffered a broken jaw against the Seahawks, out for 4 to 6 weeks. Man, that has to hurt. A broken jaw?
Yeah, my man's broke a jaw. So let's see how he comes back from that. It's a big loss for the Rams. He's been playing really well, rushing on the outside.
Yeah, no, he's been a great pickup by the Rams.
And Dante Fowler on the other side, and Aaron Donald. He's been playing really good. But then we're gonna move from the Rams. We're gonna go right to the Jets with my boy, Mono Boy, Sam Darnold.
Kissing disease.
And it's still ruled out this week, and so my boy Folk has got to go in there and ball out.
That boy Folk.
So let's see how Sam Darnold does for week 6.
We'll see. And then the Bills quarterback Josh Allen, they need him to play if they want to win this week. He's not been ruled out, but he's still on concussion protocol.
It's going to be hard for those Bills if freaking Matt Barkley plays the quarterback job.
But listen, I have the Bills winning. Don't sleep on them.
So we have 2 injuries for the Colts. We have Malik Hooker and Darius Leonard. Malik Hooker, both ruled out. Probably the 2 biggest keys on that defense ruled out again. And again, that's one reason why I think the Chiefs will win is Darius Leonard. I believe he was Rookie of the Year.
He was Rookie of the Year.
And then you have Malik Hooker.
Yep.
Another first-round pick a couple of years back. They need both of them. They want to be successful on the defense side of the ball, and they do not have them this week against the best offense in the league.
They do. And the Packers wide receiver Devontae Adams ruled out this week with turf toe.
Yeah, so they're taking him week by week.
He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. Shouldn't be anything bad.
LaFleur said he was day by day, and then I believe in like Wednesday or Thursday he said he's going week by week. So, and it may have gotten worse over the case, but let's see how he goes.
Yeah, he should be okay though.
I hope he's on my fantasy team. I'm one by big money leagues. So
fantasy.
I really need him to come back.
Oh yeah,
soon.
Yep.
So.
Big loss for the Packers.
Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill ruled out this week against the Colts, but practiced all week. Just want to make sure.
He'll be back for week 6. Tyreek Hill, he's a baller.
It says he'll be back for week 6. I hope so. I hope he's not rushed back, but he should be back week 6.
Yep. And the Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry still in concussion protocol. Has not been ruled out yet though. They need him to play.
You're gonna go up against the 49ers, so you need Rashad Higgins, who, again, I don't think is ruled in or out yet.
No, he's questionable.
So, again, let's see with
Rashad
Jarvis Landry. I know he's a game-time decision. Again, that's how the whole head feels. It depends how the protocol comes back.
Yep.
So, same thing with Josh Allen. It depends how it comes back. it doesn't depend on how he feels and how the doctor reads the
Right.
information and see how everything goes.
Right. So we'll see what happens this Sunday. That's going to wrap it up for our picks, our news, and our injury updates. We hope we got you ready for a big week 5 in the NFL. We thank you guys for listening. Remember, every Wednesday now and Saturday, we'll have 2 podcasts. We'll have 2 podcasts a week. We hope you guys can tune into the Wednesday podcast, and we appreciate all your support, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys Wednesday. Thank you guys for all the support.
See you guys.